All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, the Indianapolis Colts began the 2021 NFL season with adversity staring them right in the face. The Colts lost their first three games of the season, and after a 1-4 start, as well as getting swept by the Tennessee Titans, the Colts had their work cut out for them in order to make the playoffs. But the Colts would rally to become one of the hottest teams in the NFL as after their 1-4 start, they only lost to the Titans and Tampa Bay Buccaneers over their next 10 games. But all of that goodwill that the Colts had, which included a huge season on the ground from running back Jonathan Taylor, went out the window as the postseason will not see the Colts participating as they're going to be watching from home, just like you and I. Now, the Colts entered week 17 only needing to win one of their final two games in order to make the playoffs. But instead, the Colts wilted and they left the door open for other teams. Now, first and foremost, you look at the Colts being unable to get it done last week at home against the Las Vegas Raiders. And, consensus was that, you know what, okay, the Raiders are in contention. They've been an up and down team. The Colts will take care of their business this Sunday on the road in Jacksonville. However, the Colts have not won in Jacksonville since 2014, and their struggles continue today as they lost there by the score of 26-11. And you look at it, you're the Colts, you lost to a Jacksonville team that only had two wins coming into today. Theoretically, they didn't have anything to play for. I'll get to that in a minute. But you looked at the game, the Colts look like the team that only won two games, while the Jaguars played like the team that had a lot to play for in regards to making the playoffs. They were aggressive uh, for the entire game. They dictated the pace at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and they kept this Colts team guessing. Now, offensively, Indy was only able to muster 233 yards of total offense today. Quarterback Carson Wentz had two costly turnovers while he was also sacked six times. And this Jaguars defense held Jonathan Taylor under 100 yards. And if you follow the stat line this year, generally when Jonathan Taylor is held under 100 yards on the ground, the Colts lose. Now, over the last two games, the Colts got the version of Carson Wentz that the Philadelphia Eagles fans saw more often than not over the past couple of years. Wentz just simply couldn't get it done. You go back and you look at that Raiders game last week as he missed multiple open receivers that could have made a difference in that game. The turnovers today, costly. The six sacks, costly. Jacksonville stopping Indianapolis on fourth and goal on a run play with Taylor, once again, costly. Opportunity was knocking on the door for the Colts, and they simply failed to answer. The Colts did not make enough big plays over the last 2 weeks of the regular season, and that is why they are heading home. You look at that fourth quarter last week against the Raiders. I talked about Wentz missing some open receivers. Then on top of that, that defense had multiple opportunities to stop the Raiders, and they simply could not get it done. You go back to that game-winning drive as an example. They had the Raiders in third and long situations a couple of times, could not stop Derek Carr. Of course, he had the big play to wide receiver Hunter Renfro. And then from there, since it was not called a touchdown, it actually was a detriment to the Colts as the Raiders were able to run out the clock and force the Colts to burn out all of their timeouts. And because of that, they took it down to the end. And of course, Daniel Carlson had to walk off field goal. So the defense was unable to make the key play. Offensively, they were unable to make the key plays. And whereas the Colts needed to play their best game of the year this Sunday, it looked like, you know what, this team left it all out there last week against the Raiders, and they never were able to recover. So it's one of those where, first and foremost, we say it a lot, But this is why you simply don't go out there and pencil in those late season games against bad teams as guaranteed wins, because those guys are playing for a lot. You look at Jacksonville, they're playing for jobs for next season, whether it's with the Jags or whether it's going to be with another NFL team, because Jacksonville is going to have a new head coach next year. So guys are trying to audition right now and show what they can do. Plus, on top of that, they want to try to finish their season on a positive note. And what a better way for Jacksonville to finish their season on a positive note than by knocking out one of their division rivals from postseason contention like they did today. But honestly, I think this is going to, you know, this is going to be a tough one for the Colts to get over. That's the bottom line, because they had everything right in front of them and they simply failed to seize the moment. Hopefully, for their sake, they can go into the off season and find a way to build off of this. And when I say build off of this, know the importance of getting off to a better start, because that 1-4 start really put Indianapolis behind the eight ball, and they basically had to play perfect for the rest of the season, and they were darn near perfect for a good chunk of it, but they simply ran out of gas. So it's a heartbreaking way for the Colts season to end. They're going to go into the off season with a bitter taste in their mouths, and hopefully for their sake, they can find a way to rally from this and be a better team in 2022. Remember, the Colts were a playoff team last year. Took a slight step back this season. Hopefully, for their sake, draft and free agency will be good to them, and we will be talking differently about this team at the end of the regular season this time next year. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.